Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 3DS review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Kid Icarus Uprising, which if you've never played it before, it's a third-person shooter and an on-rails shooter at the same time, and it's one of the most expansive DS games, or hell, one of the most expansive handheld games to ever come out. Firstly, in the box you get a load of stuff. So for example, you get this little stand thing, which does actually work with the Nyko battery pack. It doesn't feel very secure, but then again it doesn't feel very secure without the Nyko, so I personally don't see myself ever going to be wanting to risk using it. While you get a load of cool things in game, you get the usual, well, I say usual, it seems to be the usual now, one-page manual, which just basically tells you the weapon types that you can get. So as you can see, you've got 4 on the left, 5 on the right there. You then also get a starter pack of ER cards, and I'm mentioning that for a reason and showing it. It does say a starter pack, so I don't know if they're planning on releasing some sort of ER card, Kid Icarus trading card style game, but all the same, I'm now going to actually get into playing the actual game, so I'm just going to cut into it now. So, first up, I'll need to be showing a hell of a lot of the menus on this because this game is incredibly expansive for the menus. And while I'm going to be mentioning a lot about the game, you don't have to worry, I'm not going to be showing major spoilers because I don't think it's right to show out of a game of this caliber. I keep saying it all the time and I think it's the truth. So I've created a new file and I'm just going to basically be showing the very first chapter off. Right then, so at the start you've got your solo game, you've got your Street Pass where you can trade weapons via Street Pass, you've got your Vault, which I'll go into Vault first. You can view your idols, you can go into Power Portrait, you can offer hearts up to the goddess, you can do idol toss with eggs, and you can use your coins that you get from walking around to create more eggs. You can go into your music gallery, you can go into your records, or you can go into your AR system. You've then got Together, which is the online player, which I'll mention that a bit later, but because of the fact that the game isn't actually out for another couple of days, I've managed to get it early, thankfully. I'm struggling like hell to be able to get a game, so I doubt I'll be able to show it off, if I'm honest. I'll try, but I can't guarantee. Options-wise, when you go in, you've got a lot of things you can do. You can view your controls, your volume, and your other. Your other is simply you can change your profile, your subtitles, you can put your spot pass on. When I go into controls, you can choose your control configuration, and this is the thing that a lot of people are slating the game with because it makes absolutely no sense. It's played with a single circle pad and a stylus. You can play with the second circle pad on, but it's only for left-handed players to be able to play in just an awkward a manner as the right-handeds. It can't be used dual analog, which especially makes absolutely no sense because after you choose your moving with the left circle pad there, for aiming you can choose to use the face buttons if you want to. So why the hell didn't they give you the option to just use the other circle pad? It's absolute madness, it really is. Anyway, once you've done those, you can go into your reticle and camera. You can choose for air battle and land battle, and you can change your sensitivity. And when you you can change sensitivity, you can change your invert, and you can change how long it takes for the reticle to stop after you've well, moved your stylus around and that, and you can do the same for land battle. And more controls, I've just realised I forgot to go into more controls. There's things like you can put aim assist on, you can put auto fire on. Personally, I think auto fire is a necessity to limit hand cramping, really. You can choose shot homing if you want, and guide arrows and that. But anyway, that's pretty much all I can say about the options menu. You can then go again into the AR card system and you can view the manual down there, which is how to play. So for now, I'm just going to go into solo, and as I say, I'm going to be sticking with the first chapter. But on solo, as you can probably see, you can go to practice range, you can go to idle toss, gear, arms alter, treasure hunt, or just move out. So for now, I've spent too long in the menus, I'm just going to quite simply move out. The only other thing I forgot to mention there is obviously I could choose my equipment, and oh boy is there a lot of equipment to choose. There's over 100 weapons on the game and all sorts of things that you can unlock with it, and you can use them online or you can use them offline in the single player. It's one of those, I usually slate games for things like that because for example COD and those who play more get the better kit, and while that can be said with this, it's not a case of playing online more. Everyone has the same advantage of being able to play the single player, and you don't have to jump straight into the online. You can therefore get a load of kit offline, so that's quite cool because it well, evens it up a bit. It makes it fairer, personally. Anyway, there's another thing I need to quickly show on the bottom screen, which is just those, and how you activate your powers and that. And oh boy, is this game hard to play when you're looking through a camera lens. I'm probably going to die like mad. Anyway then, the gist of the game, as I say, it's an on-rail shooter and a third-person shooter. You get an on-rail section, you then get a third-person section, and then you get a boss, and you kick the crap out of the boss, and you rinse, repeat, and do it again. There's, I believe, 25 chapters. Unfortunately, I'll probably have to confirm this with annotation, because what with the game not being out and so few people actually confirming what secret levels they've found and things like that, I have no idea if 25 is the final count. I just know that 25 is what I've got. So for now, I'm just going to say 25 and take it with a pinch of salt. If in doubt, as I say, after a couple of weeks when people have discussed things, I'll edit it as an annotation if I have to. But it's there, as I say, for taking it with a pinch of salt purposes. And while it may not sound like a lot, especially because the levels are relatively short, a lot of them can be beat in a 10-20 minute session, it's been designed like that for a handheld purpose. But that doesn't mean that it's a small game, because there's 360 achievements in the game to get, so there's a hell of a lot of gameplay there. There's also the fact that you can choose your difficulty level. Depending on what difficulty you play the game, depends on what areas open up on the levels, and depends on what kit you can actually get. You can pay hearts to upgrade and increase the intensity of the difficulty, and if you fail, you lose the hearts. So you really have to, well, practice and get good enough to be able to warrant spending the hearts, to be able to warrant trying to get the better kit to get you better. It's the type of game that you're not going to beat overnight unless you really hammer it, and unless you're a natural born Kid Icarus player. Which sounds a bit stupid, because it's the first time there's ever been a Kid Icarus game like this. Anyway, seeing as it's doing enforced tutorial stuff again, I'm just going to do a quick cut. So, there we go, and back into the game now, rather on the tutorial thing, and I'm still struggling like hell to be able to see. I do apologise for the footage, but at the same time, I did say I didn't want to spoil anything, and I suppose a guy playing incredibly badly on the early stages definitely isn't going to spoil anything, because the game is hugely expansive. I mean, every chapter pretty much changes drastically how the game looks, and not so much feels, because obviously you're playing the same gameplay all the time, but it's just a huge variety of stuff. There's loads of speech in the game and cutscenes and stuff, and there's a load of in-jokes revolving other game series, including Nintendogs, and that's pretty much all I'm going to say, because I don't want to, again, spoil anything. As well as being able to get your weapons, of which there's all sorts of things. There's things like bows, which you can fire quick guided arrows. There's things like claws, which you can be speedy with, but they've got short distance. You can get sniper rifle style weapons. You can get dual wielding style weapons. You can get explosive style weapons, things like that. You can also get some treasures which power you up, and it's a bit like I suppose the Resident Evil games, how it works, because you get a 6x6 box to put your equipment in, and everything therefore has to fit, so you can't just immediately take all of the best kit. It does balance it out quite well. Graphically, the game is fantastic, and musically it sounds even better than it looks, which is stupid to say, because it really does look good. And as I always say, I can't say what the 3D effect's like, because I can't see in 3D, however people are absolutely raving about it. And to be fair, I'm pretty much running out of things to say, so I'm just going to do another cut now and try and show off a boss. So here we go then, I'm up to a boss. And I suppose the only things I can really say now about the online, because you've got two different modes to play. You can play 3-on-3 team battles, and then it becomes like a protector mode, because after a certain point a dark angel and a white angel come out, and whichever team kills the opposing angel wins. Or you can just play free-for-all deathmatch, which again is up to 6 players. And there's a lot of people saying it plays awkward because of the controls. There's a lot of people saying it plays amazing because it's an amazing game. And it's just one of those, you'll have to play the game and get used to it. It's like a lot of other games with a touchscreen when they were used. If you're an absolute avid fan of Metroid Prime Hunters, you'll probably be able to jump straight into it, because I'm noticing it plays very similar. It's just things like having to use the D-pad to activate powers and swap between them, and to sometimes change the camera angles. It's a bit awkward, especially because obviously you're trying to to move at the same time and aim and fire, and it just gets a bit too complicated, and something that would have been so much simpler had they just allowed the use of the second circle pad. But it's the type of thing that you know fine well they're not going to do it as an update, because I mean, look at Mario Kart, it has a severe glitch in it, and they still didn't do an update for it, because I said they couldn't because of how they do their updates, so it's a bit of a shame really. Anyway then, I will try and show off an online game, so I'll just try and cut into one now. So there we go, there's a little bit of footage, but as I say, I've pretty much said everything I already need to say, so there's not much I can do. So as probably stupid as it was to do a cut for a few seconds, this is just the online, and it does work well, as I say, once you get used to the controls and that, and I think it's a type of game, this as a whole is one of the best handheld games to come out in a good long while, and I really hope that we don't have to wait another 21 years or so to get another Kid Icarus, because I would kill to see another one on the DS. Not so much bothered about the Wii U, because I don't know if I'm getting one yet, but I'd kill for another one on the 3DS, that's for sure. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel, because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.